What happens if your dog accidentally ingests marijuana? You might be surprised to learn that it's not quite the same as when humans partake. Now, as regulations around marijuana have been changing, we've noticed an interesting, albeit concerning trend. There's been an increase in incidents of our furry friends getting into this leafy substance. In fact, just a few years ago, the Animal Poison Control Center reported a staggering 765% increase in calls about pets consuming marijuana. That's a lot of curious noses getting into places they shouldn't be. You might be wondering, why is this such a big deal? Well, it turns out our canine companions are more affected by marijuana than we humans are. You see, dogs have more cannabinoid receptors in their brains. This makes them much more sensitive to the effects of marijuana. Imagine being super sensitive to the taste of chocolate. Sounds heavenly, right? But in this case, it's not quite a pleasant experience for our four-legged pals. If a dog ingests marijuana, the symptoms will typically show within 1 to 3 hours. But it's not just a matter of them acting a little goofy or being unusually hungry. The symptoms can be quite severe, and in some cases, they might need immediate veterinary care. We're talking about things like excessive vomiting, low body temperature, and even seizures. So, while it may seem funny to think of a dog getting a little high, it's actually a serious situation that requires quick action. But don't worry. We're going to walk you through everything you need to know about how to handle this situation, from recognizing the signs to knowing what to do if you find your pup has gotten into your stash. So, when Fido finds that forgotten joint, it's not just a case of the munchies he might experience. And, as we'll see, it's important to act quickly and wisely to ensure your dog's safety. But more on that in the next scene. For now, just remember, dogs and marijuana are a combination best avoided. If your dog ingests marijuana, the symptoms will typically show within 1 to 3 hours. But what exactly are those symptoms? Well, let's dive right into it. Marijuana toxicity in dogs may manifest in a variety of ways. For one, your dog might start vomiting excessively. It's not the occasional upset stomach or a single episode of throwing up we're talking about here. It's a persistent, almost relentless urge to vomit that your dog can't seem to shake off. Next, you might notice your dog's body temperature dropping. While this might not be immediately visible to the naked eye, if your dog's normally bouncy and warm demeanor is replaced by a lethargic and cold one, it's a sign that something is off. Then, there's the more serious symptom of seizures. This is not as common as vomiting or a drop in body temperature, but it's a critical one. If your dog starts having seizures, it can be terrifying to witness. It's an uncontrollable shaking or trembling that can last anywhere from a few seconds to a few minutes. Now, the severity of these symptoms can vary, and it largely depends on the type and amount of marijuana ingested. If your dog nibbled on a small piece of your marijuana-infused brownie, they might experience milder symptoms. But if they got into your stash and ate a significant amount, the symptoms could be much more severe. Remember, dogs have more cannabinoid receptors in their brains compared to US humans, and thus are more sensitive to THC. This is why even a small amount can have such a profound impact. Stay attentive and look for signs of lethargy, incoordination, vomiting, tremors, increased heart rate, drooling, and in severe cases, your dog can have a seizure or fall into a coma. The bottom line here is, while it might be tempting to downplay these symptoms as your dog simply having a bad day or being a little under the weather, it's not that simple. These symptoms are more than just a bad trip for your dog. They can be life-threatening. So if your dog exhibits any of these signs, don't hesitate to seek immediate veterinary care. Hey there! Are you enjoying the video so far? This is an important topic. Aim to keep pets safe. Found this useful? It would help us continue to bring you high-quality content if you hit the like button. Also, subscribe to the Dog Smart channel for more tips and information about our furry friends. Now back to what to do if your dog ingests marijuana. So, your dog got into your stash. What's the next step? Well, first and foremost, it's crucial to contact your veterinarian right away. Time is of the essence here, so don't wait for symptoms to show. Even if you're just suspicious of your pet's marijuana ingestion, it's always better to be safe than sorry. The first thing your vet may ask is the type of marijuana your dog has ingested. That's because the concentration and toxicity levels can vary, and this information will help the vet to gauge the severity of the situation. So, if you know what kind of marijuana your dog got into, be sure to fill your vet in. Next, you'll need to provide your vet with your dog's weight, the estimated amount of marijuana ingested, and the time your dog ingested it. This is to help them calculate the potential toxicity your pet is facing. Based on this information, your vet will recommend the best course of action. This could range from inducing vomiting to more specialized interventions. If the ingestion was recent and your dog is not showing severe symptoms, your vet might suggest inducing vomiting at home. But remember, never attempt this without your vet's guidance, as it can lead to complications. On the other hand, if your dog is showing severe symptoms like excessive vomiting, low body temperature, and seizures, immediate veterinary care is necessary. These symptoms indicate THC toxicity, a potentially life-threatening condition. Your vet might need to perform specialized interventions like administering activated charcoal to help absorb the toxins or intravenous fluids to help flush the toxins out of your dog's system. Throughout this ordeal, it's important to keep your dog in a warm, enclosed area, reducing sensory stimuli. Keep them hydrated and monitor their temperature. This is called supportive care, and it's a crucial part of the treatment process. In all cases, remember that quick action and open communication with your vet can make all the difference. The symptoms of marijuana toxicity in dogs generally resolve within a day or two, but may take longer for severe cases or ingestion of synthetic marijuana. So, don't delay, act swiftly, and keep your vet in the loop. Quick action and open communication with your vet can make all the difference. With proper care, your dog can recover from marijuana toxicity. But what does that recovery look like? After an unfortunate incident of marijuana ingestion, the primary focus is on providing supportive care to your furry friend. This involves creating a safe, warm, and enclosed environment for them to recuperate in. Imagine a cozy den for your canine companion where they can feel secure and loved, away from loud noises and bright lights. Reducing sensory stimuli is crucial during this period of recovery. Our dogs, much like us, need a calm and peaceful environment to regain their strength. Just as you might want to curl up in a quiet room after a rough day, your dog needs the same consideration. So, turn down the volume on your TV, draw the blinds, and let your dog rest and recover. Hydration is another key aspect of recovery. Just as we humans might need a glass of water after a night out, dogs too need to stay hydrated to flush out any toxins from their system. Make sure they have constant access to fresh water and encourage them to drink. If they're not keen, consider enticing them with some low-sodium chicken broth. It's like the doggy version of a revitalizing sports drink. Monitoring your dog's temperature is also essential. If their body temperature drops too low, it could signal a severe reaction and they might need immediate veterinary attention. Keep a close eye on them and don't hesitate to call your vet if you notice anything out of the ordinary. Remember, recovery isn't always a swift process. It can take anywhere from a day or two to several days for your dog to bounce back completely, especially in severe cases. It's akin to us getting over a nasty cold or flu. It takes time and lots of rest. During this period, your dog's best medicine is a whole lot of tender, loving care from you. Shower them with affection, be patient, and provide the comfort they need to get through this tough time. Recovery can take a day or two or even longer for severe cases, but with some TLC, your dog can bounce back. While it's important to know what to do if your dog ingests marijuana, it's even better to prevent it from happening in the first place. So how do we make sure our furry friends stay clear of this human indulgence? The answer is simple, secure storage and proper disposal. Let's start with storage. Just like you would keep chocolate, medications, and other potentially toxic substances out of your pet's reach, your marijuana stash should be no different. Consider investing in a lockable box or a high shelf that your dog can't access. Remember, dogs are curious creatures. If they sniff out something interesting, they might just decide to taste it. Next, let's talk about disposal. When you're done with your marijuana products, make sure you dispose of them properly. Don't just toss them in the trash bin. Dogs are known dumpster divers. Whether it's a leftover joint or marijuana-infused edibles, it could be harmful if your pet gets hold of it. So, what's the best way to dispose of these products? Well, consider double bagging them or putting them in a container that your dog can't easily open before you throw them away. Moreover, if you're growing marijuana plants at home, make sure they're in an area that your dog can't reach. Dogs might be tempted to chew on these plants, and that's not something we want. In addition to these safety precautions, it's also crucial to educate everyone in your household about the potential risks. Make sure they understand that marijuana can be harmful to dogs and that it should be kept out of their reach at all times. Remember, we're not just safeguarding our dogs from a bad trip here. Marijuana toxicity in dogs can lead to severe symptoms like excessive vomiting, low body temperature, and even seizures. And while these symptoms typically resolve within a day or two, Severe cases may require immediate veterinary intervention and prolonged care. So, as the old adage goes, prevention is indeed better than cure. Remember, your dog doesn't need to get high to have a good time. Keep your stash secure and keep your pup safe.